Welcome to Simply Explained English. I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
So let's get started and make English easy. So Eric, what are the words today?
The first word today is convenient. Then we will continue with purpose and to wander. Then to come up. And the final one is get back on one's feet.
Okay, Eric. Let's start with the first word.
Today's first word is convenient.
Convenient.
Convenient is an adjective. It means something is easy or makes life simpler, suitable for your needs.
That's right. We use it to describe things that make our lives easier or more comfortable.
Exactly. Let me give an example sentence. The new supermarket is very convenient because it's close to my house. It means that the supermarket is easy to use because it doesn't take much time or effort to get there from the person's house. Now it's your turn, Lisa. Can you give us another example?
Sure. Here's another example. Online shopping is convenient for busy people. It means that online shopping is suitable and easy for people who don't have much time, as they can shop without going to a store.
Yes. So let's talk a little more about convenient. We often use convenient with the word for or to. For example, we say, this tool is convenient for cleaning, or it is convenient to use.
Good point. Now, let's hear a short dialogue using the word convenient.
Emma, what time is convenient for you to meet tomorrow?
How about 3 p.m.? There's a new cafe that just opened near the train station.
That sounds convenient. I can stop by after work.
Perfect. It's really convenient having a cafe so close to public transport.
Absolutely. It's always convenient to have options like that in the city.
That was a good example, Eric. It shows how we use convenient to talk about plans and locations that suit our needs.
Yes, and it also shows that we can use convenient to describe both times and places.
Eric, do you think convenient is more common in formal or informal conversations?
That's a good question, Lisa. I think convenient is pretty neutral. You can use it in both formal and informal situations. For example, you can say, this time is convenient for our meeting in a work setting, or you can say, it's convenient to park here when talking with friends.
I agree. It's one of those words that can be used almost anywhere. And it's really useful because we often talk about things that help us save time or make things easier.
Well, it's useful for describing many situations in modern life. It helps express when something is practical or easy to use.
Exactly. Well, I think we've covered convenient pretty well. Shall we move on to our next word?
Yes, let's do that. Our second word for today is purpose.
Purpose.
Purpose is a noun. It means the reason why you do something or the goal you want to achieve. Let me give you an example sentence. The purpose of this podcast is to help people learn English. This means that we are making this podcast to help people improve their English skills.
It was a fantastic example, Eric. You used the purpose of this podcast in your example.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Here's another example. What's the purpose of your visit to Canada? It means that we're asking why someone is going to Canada or what they plan to do there.
Good point, Lisa. It's important to note that we often use purpose with the preposition of. We say the purpose of something.
That's right, Eric. We can also use purpose with to when we talk about intentions. For example, my purpose is to become a teacher. Or our purpose is to help people learn English.
Good point, Lisa. Now, let's listen to a short dialogue using the word purpose.
Hey, Jake. What's the purpose of this meeting? The purpose is to talk about our next project.
Oh, that makes sense. So, we're here to plan the project?
Yes, exactly. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss the project details.
In this dialogue, Jake explains that the purpose of the meeting is to talk about the next project. This shows how purpose is used to explain the reason for doing something.
Yes, purpose is a useful word when you want to talk about goals or reasons behind actions. So, Lisa, do you think purpose is more formal or informal?
I think purpose can be used in both formal and informal situations. For example, in a formal setting, you might hear, "The purpose of this event is to raise money." But in everyday conversation, you can still use it, like, "The purpose of this trip is to relax."
Yes, I agree. Purpose is very versatile and can fit many situations. It's also a good word to help explain why we do things, so it's useful to know.
That's a good point. Can you think of any similar words to purpose?
Sure, words like goal, aim, or reason can sometimes be used instead of purpose.
Great examples, Eric. I think purpose is a really useful word for our listeners to know. Okay, well, let's move on to our next word.
The next word for today is to wander.
To wander.
To wander means to walk around slowly without a specific direction or reason. Let me give you an example sentence. I like to wander through the park on sunny days. It means that I enjoy walking around the park for no specific reason, just for pleasure.
Here's another example. The lost tourist wandered the streets looking for his hotel. This means that the tourist walked around different streets, was not sure where to go, and was trying to find his hotel.
Good examples, Lisa. We often use wander with prepositions like through, around, or in to describe where the wandering happens. Now, let's listen to a short dialogue using the word wander.
Hey Jack, what did you do on your day off yesterday?
Hi, Emma. I decided to wander around the city center. I had no plans, just wanted to explore.
That sounds nice. Did you find any interesting places while you were wandering?
Yes, I did. I wandered into a small bookshop I'd never seen before. It was lovely.
That was a great example of how to use wander in a conversation.
I agree. So, what do you think about the word wander, Eric? Is it a common word?
I'd say it's fairly common. People often use it when talking about exploring or walking without a specific destination.
That makes sense. Do you think it's a formal or informal word?
I think it's more informal or neutral. You might hear it in everyday conversations, but it's not too casual for most situations.
Good point. I think wander is a useful word for our listeners to know, especially if they like traveling or describing leisurely activities.
Absolutely. Well said, Lisa.
Okay, shall we move on to our next word, Eric?
Yes, let's do that. The next word is to come up.
To come up.
To come up is a phrasal verb. It has several meanings, but we'll focus on two common ones. To happen, usually unexpectedly, and to approach or meet someone. For example, if you have a meeting planned but something unexpected happens, you might say, "Sorry, something came up." Or, for the second meaning, a small child came up and asked me for money.
Yes, we often use it when something unexpected happens.
Let's give some examples to help our listeners understand how to use it better. Here's the first example sentence. Something important came up during our meeting, so we had to end early. It means that something unexpected happened during the meeting, and because of that, they had to finish the meeting earlier than planned.
Great example, Eric. Now, here's another example of the second meaning. My old friend came up to me at the store yesterday. It means that the old friend approached or met the person at the store.
Now, let's practice using it in a short dialogue. Ready, Lisa?
I'm ready.
Hey Sarah, are you ready for the movie tonight?
Oh no, I completely forgot. Something came up at work, and I have to finish a project.
That's too bad. What about the weekend?
Oh, I just remembered. My cousin might come up to visit this weekend.
Really? When did that come up?
She just called an hour ago. Sorry for all the sudden changes.
That was a good example, Lisa. It shows both meanings of come up, unexpected events, and approaching someone.
Yes, and it also shows how common this phrase is in everyday conversation. So, it's clear that come up means something happened that wasn't planned.
Exactly. Come up is often used in casual conversations when we need to explain why we can't do something because of something unexpected.
Okay, now let's talk a bit more about this phrase. Would you say this is a phrasal verb we hear often, Eric?
Oh, definitely. It's quite common. You'll hear it a lot in both casual conversations and at work. It's very common in daily life. We often talk about unexpected events or meeting people. So, come up is really handy.
I agree. It's not very formal, so you wouldn't use it in a business email to a boss, for example. But in conversation, it's very useful.
That's true. Come up is perfect for everyday English. It's simple and clear.
Well, I think we have explained come up pretty well. Let's move on to the last word of today.
The last word today is to get back on one's feet.
To get back on one's feet.
To get back on one's feet is an expression. It means to recover from a difficult situation, especially financial problems or illness, and return to a normal life.
That's right. We use it when someone starts to do well again after problems.
Here's the first example sentence. After losing his job, John worked hard to get back on his feet. It means that John lost his job, but he is trying to recover from this bad situation. He's working hard to improve his life and return to normal.
Great example, Eric. Here's another one. After the accident, she worked hard to get back on her feet. This means that after the accident, she made a lot of effort to be well, either physically or emotionally, and returned to her normal life.
Yes. Get back on their feet is usually used when someone has a problem and is trying to recover from it. You can use it for health, work, or even money problems.
Now, let's practice using get back on their feet in a short dialogue. Are you ready, Eric?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Hi, Tom. How's your sister doing after her accident?
She's doing better, thanks. The doctors say she's getting back on her feet slowly, but surely.
That's good to hear. Is there anything she needs help with to get back on her feet faster?
Well, she's looking for some part-time work to get back on her feet financially. Do you know of any job openings?
That was a great example of how to use get back on their feet in a conversation.
I agree, Lisa. So, what do you think about this phrase? Is it common?
I'd say it's more informal. You often hear it in casual conversations, like when friends or family are talking about someone's recovery. But I've also heard it in news reports and articles, so it's not too informal. It's very commonly used.
That's true. It's a phrase you'll hear in everyday life, but you can also find it in more serious or professional situations, like when people talk about the economy or businesses recovering.
Yes, I agree. People often face challenges in life, and we all can relate to getting back on our feet. Whether it's health, work, or personal issues, we all have times in our lives when we need to recover and rebuild. Okay. Well, I think we've covered get back on their feet pretty well and reached the end of our podcast today as well.
I think so, Lisa. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now.